last night she was being so annoying about it. She's like, no, if it drowns, I'm just gonna walk at the edge of each house. I'm like, but what if it's like 6 feet from the edge of each house? It's so slippery. Are you slipping? Because I'm slipping.
I'm stuck in the rain, but they won't come out anymore. I don't know why. Okay, guys, well, we are gonna try to get her out. Her, my sister, and my dad. So I will keep you guys posted. Bye.
So another house with all that water, and they had a wood floor, and I can't imagine that's great for the wood floor. So much damage. Just the amount of cars that are going to have damage from this is just incredible. Think of a million, it might be millions of cars that are either unusable or just damaged, you know, to the point where it costs so much to repair them after this. Just cars alone. But of course the people is the most important thing.
Really come and help my friend. Raven, my car is fine. My car is fine. I think my apartment is not flooded. The power's still on, but I was able to at least drive right here, where my friend's apartment is. I was actually this is where I was yesterday. It didn't look this bad, but now it's really bad. It's really bad. This is a Toyota Camry right here. This is a Jeep. That's a Challenger right there. That's the car I seen last night before I left. That car was like literally not that low underwater, but you can just imagine how high the water got since then. Brandy, you got everything? Huh? Okay. You guys, I don't know what tomorrow may bring, but this is ridiculous. Look at all this water. I don't know. Is there people? Huh? Is there people down here or they left already? Yeah, you guys, this is what it is. This is 1960. Somebody asked what street this is. This is 1960 and pretty much Cypress Station, the back of 1960. All those cars is gone. One of them are actually, their car is pretty much, these cars are gone. It's done. This is a done deal. Is that an umbrella? Is there people down here? I don't know. Yeah, that water, look at this. You guys, we gonna really, okay, so we're gonna have to walk on the side. We got boots on right here. Yeah, I have my cowgirl boots on today. This water is really deep. If I had my horse to get on, I'd get on her. But unfortunately, I don't have her. This water is way too high. You see these people standing right here? I called all those numbers. They're not taking people to shelters. They just taking them to a safe ground. I called all those numbers yesterday. This is the area I was in. This is right, not that far from where I stay at. Like literally down the street. But this is what I was talking about. These people are literally just standing here. They're not going to nobody's shelters, or they just taking them to get them on high ground. So a solid ground. Brandy, get on the sidewalk. You're gonna have to step in the grass to get something done. Look at this. You guys, this is real.
What the fuck did you bark at?
I parked at the Shell gas station. This is real. Y'all, this is real deal Holyfield. This is exactly where I was yesterday. This is exactly where I was yesterday. And this is why I said that this water got so deep. This is my friend apartments, nice apartments. But this is exactly where I was yesterday. That stop sign that I was telling everybody is covered. That I was showing everybody was covered. Are y'all okay? He said you are poor baby.
Oh, I'm sorry, Brenda. You got it? Yeah. I can pack.
Okay, y'all ready? Uh-oh.
Yes, I'm ready. I should have double bagged.
You got everything?
Everything.
Your phone chargers and stuff? Now look, this is real.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, we walking straight all the way to the gas station. Wait, hold on. This is mud right here. Mud. Y'all, I can't even drive to nobody's.
It's my damn phone.
It's my fault.
To no sis, baby. Woo! Yeah, because it's all this.
Well, we just going to family member's house, but it's no point in staying there because our power high. So.
Yeah, but they're not taking people to shelters. They're only taking them to solid
Yeah, they're
ground.
only taking the solid ground. They gotta find somewhere. They gotta find somewhere to put them go. So.
Yeah.
Ain't no a metro bus. They got an army trucks, every damn thing.
I called every number last night. Every number.
Taking them wherever they going.
I called every last number last night.
But they, it's just sad. They ain't gonna.
All right, you too.
All right.
So this person is saying they want to go to a shelter. They called all the numbers. They can't find transportation to the shelter, and they said people will take you to higher ground, but then you have to find the shelter. So it's another case where it seems like a person wants help, and the help is not just not there for them. And what was I going to say? And it's look, I just think the authorities seem to be overwhelmed at this point. Just too many people need help and they're not able to help them. But it's sad to see people who she wants to go to a shelter. It sounds like she just has no way of getting there. I think she's just walking to higher ground or something right now. Sorry, I might have missed where she said I was doing some stuff here, where exactly she was going. But yeah, it's sad. So a lot of people need a lot of help there, and they're just having to kind of fend for themselves.
And if I would have never left, my car would have been flooded as well. So this is the other side of 1960 Cypress Station. But yeah, I just had to come and get my best friend. Like, seriously. And this gas station it was open yesterday, but it's not open anymore. Oh my God, y'all. I have my boots on, so y'all hear a lot of stomping.
Okay, we're gonna go to another stream, but that was a woman basically leaving her place just because it was. Oh, I guess she was leaving her friend's apartment, but it was a pretty bad scene there with all the water. A lot of the cars were submerged there. So let's go and check out what else is happening. You're watching Right Side Broadcasting's live continuing coverage of the floods in Houston. Really bad there today. We're seeing a lot of bad scenes.
Only allowing a few people through that have kayaks and such. I don't know where that guy's going, unless it's to the family's house or just to give some kind of relief. It's open? Okay, I'm gonna go walk real quick, guys, and go get my umbrella and go check it out. But oh my good Lord, this is so crazy. This is crazy.
Very.
So real quick, just want to show you one other thing here. Actually, a couple of updates here, just to show you. Marcelo Benito says, up to the roof, simply unbelievable photo from viewer in Timber Lakes area in Spring, Texas. That's Spring, Texas. And then Nick Notario says, from Nick ABC13 says, if you live in these neighborhoods near the Addicks Reservoir, you need to prepare for flooding and look to leave tonight. So apparently, there's going to be flooding from the Addicks Reservoir, and you might be at risk if you stay around. But the problem is, and like we said with Dickinson, is like, I'm guessing it's not easy to leave when the area is flooded. You know, you can't really drive very far.
Boots in Houston because it's
sorry,
just never
guys.
rain.
You can't really drive very far, and who know? You know, maybe you don't even know where to go. So it's not good there to be forced to leave in the middle of this giant storm when there's water all over the place is probably just incredibly difficult, and maybe in some cases impossible. I'm not sure. So you're watching Right Side Broadcasting's coverage, live coverage of the Houston floods, and we're going to get back to footage. If you guys have any kind of updates, videos, photos that you're seeing from around Houston or Texas, give me a shout on Twitter at Lookner, at Lookner, and let me know. Also, you can subscribe to, if you want to get our future videos like this, subscribe to us and hit the notifications bell on YouTube. Thank you for the moderators very much in both the chat and the website today for all your help in the chat rooms. And I also wanted to do a quick check here. I can't check all of them. I've been looking over them, but I don't know if this is from Texas. Mickey D sent this to me. He said there's pictures of expensive water and expensive gas, but again, I can't confirm the photos, and I'm not saying, I'm guessing Mickey D is sending me what he thinks are accurate photos. I just know that some of the photos we've seen have turned out to be inaccurate, so, but I will pass them along, and thank you, Mickey D, for sending them. Oh, President Trump is, thank you, Richard Trump. Richard P reminds me, President Trump is coming on live, and let's see. He's supposed to come on live in 28 minutes, I think. But we're running that on another stream. So if you want to see President Trump's news conference, go to Right Side Broadcasting on YouTube. You can open up the window there. You can open up that window and this window. So we're going to keep our coverage of the hurricane, of the flooding going. But on another stream on our channel, we're going to have President Trump's news conference. You can watch that there. Stephanie Messenger says, it's not like the authorities didn't know this was coming. Why so disorganized? So, Stephanie, I mean, it's just, you know, this is a huge question, but I also think the problem is the flooding covers such a range of area, and there's so many people affected. It may be like millions of people affected. So just that kind of number overwhelms any kind of traditional structure of help authorities. So yeah, it's such a huge number. Now you might say, but they knew it might be this bad. Why didn't they do anything more? These are really interesting questions. I've been asking them myself, but we'll have to just. That's kind of thing where it's going to take a lot of like experts to think about it and really go over, like, I don't know enough about, you know, how that, like, how aid assistance works to really know that. But it does seem like it's there's so many people who need help who can't get it. That's what it does seem like from the streams that we're seeing. Reagan Better says there's some flooding in New Orleans going on. Ryan Nakin says, check out Streetwise NOLA for reports of street flooding in New Orleans. I'm seeing reports of looting. I haven't seen them confirmed yet, so I'm not really talking about them much. Maybe there is. We talked about, Scott sent this in. We talked about this earlier, how a family of 6 drowns inside van while trying to escape RV floods.
So let's give it another shot.
So we talked about that before, a sad story. I'm guessing we'll hear more stories like that, unfortunately. We talked about the new evacuation order. So yeah, thank you for sending me all these updates, everyone. And keep sending them at Lookner, and I will continue to share them with our audience. Here's someone saving bats from drowning in Houston. We've seen some other people doing that in Texas as well. Okay, let's go to, also Rebecca Sparrow says, receiving word SH-71 is now underwater in parts. And I guess I think she's saying that's the Sienna Plantation evacuation route. So this evacuation route has SH-71 on it, but SH-71 is now underwater in parts. So it's a problem with having people ordering them to evacuate in the middle of a storm is that they might not be able to evacuate. St. Luke's Hospital, Adam Bennett reports, St. Luke's Hospital at 249 in Cypress Wood is being evacuated. Adjacent hotel and shopping center also flooded. Not good. Houston Texans. Oh, I guess that they said it said they were going to play in a different place, but that tweet's been deleted, so maybe that's false. Okay, let's get back to the streams here. And again, to know about our videos in the future, subscribe to us at Right Side Broadcasting on YouTube. So let's go back to here. Is this live here? Let's see.
Please share. It's the bottom right, bottom left. Share, share, share. Oh, thank you, Candace. I love you, babe. Love you, love you. It's just crazy. If y'all look way, way back there, y'all see these 3 boats. These 3 boats literally came from this area that is just a low-lying kind of back there, low-lying grassy area that all the kids that come for swim meets and stuff sit in. And it's not that low, but the fact that it's so high and allowed boats to go in it, insane. Insane, you guys. Insane. Please share, please share, please share, please share. We got to let everybody know what's going on, because again, this is kind of like, it's Cypress Wood. It just doesn't happen over here like this. Oh, this is just crazy.
Just want to point out, it's another person. We've heard several people posting videos today saying, please share. They're begging people to share these videos. They want people to know what's going on with them. So, you know, feel free to share our stream or share this video however you want to, however you want to do it, or just tell people, go online and look for videos, whatever you want. But just these people want their stories to be known, because you just heard her say it. Please share, please share, please share.
People are coming, dogs. Okay, so way back there, I'm gonna go around this other way. I'll show you guys this tree. This is, the park where the kids come play for our clubhouse, and look at the tree. Show just crazy. Uprooted. Uprooted. I'm gonna go back on this side of these tennis courts. Of course, this is just all part of what you guys just saw. And then I'll walk down the street. Wow. Like, you guys cannot, it's not about appreciating. You will not believe that this is just like how this is. Like, none of this is here. This was all like soccer field, a playing area, all of this. All of this. Look, golf. They have that frisbee golf. I mean, it's a whole course out here. I mean, this is just crazy. Look at it. Can those people over there, their houses. Oh, and it's about to start coming down right now. Ooh, boyfriend thinks I'm absolutely crazy because I'm out here. Oh, man. Hey, Lori, I hope you're staying dry up there, babe. Hey, Connie. No, honey, there's really nothing y'all can do right now. I mean, we're dry, we're safe. I mean, for us, personally, nothing. For sharing this live, and let's bring attention and awareness that we need kayaks, boats, anything that floats, because we got to go save those people that are way back there. My son's ex-girlfriend's family, his house is flooded because they were right on that little creek. Just crazy. All right, if it gets a little bouncy, just turn your eye away. If it goes where it goes black because I've lost service, just hold on. I'll be back in service. But please share this live. Hi, babies. Just share this live. And I know they're enjoying it, huh? They're loving it. The dogs are just running around. But yeah, so bringing awareness, want everybody that has, you know, a reach on social media. You guys, social media is so huge. Please share the live. Ask your friends to share the live. Kayaks, canoes, anything that can float, that can rescue people. We need it over in this area. Cypress Wood, on Cypress Wood. Oh man, this is just crazy. Go walk all the way down by where my mom's is, but that's a few miles away, so. Rain boots are not meant for walking long distance at all. And I mean, even just the ground is so saturated, you just squish right into it. All right, so let me go over here. Oh good, they're finally barricading over there so people can't come down any further, because the sweet residents of Cypress Wood were trying to get people to stop and they were being so rude. Yeah, Lisa, we're okay. Okay, so there's my house. There's Tony. There's our cars. Tony's is in the street, but it's because it's good like movement of water. And from my house, this is what we're about to walk up to. And you can see there's another canoe. Oh no, that's a boat thingy. I guess they're pulling a boat in, because the boats can only go so far, right? Because it does lessen in water. All right, so let's go see. Please, 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 please share this live, guys. We need canoes, boats, anything that can help these people, please. Look at little kids in the water. You see where the water is, you guys? The water. My house. I don't think it's gonna get that far. But this fence post has been damaged over here just because people that were originally passing through were knocking so much water. Obviously, it just came apart.
Okay, I'm going to check out another stream now, but this woman was saying, you know, she really wants this video to be shared live. She says they need canoes and kayaks and stuff, and right now. And also, you know, she was saying the people there are trapped in houses who are a little further away from her. She was very concerned about them, and they need boats to go. So another really bad situation, very desperate situation.
Yeah.
Again and again, we keep seeing situations of people who really need help and have flooding. And here's a shot of a house which looks like it's getting flooded from the front. Well, that ended, but that person's water was flowing through the front door.
The rainfall seems to be getting a little bit worse. You can see just
This is Katy, Texas, by the way. Katy, Texas.
as they drive by.
Okay, so things in Katy, he's saying there's a lot of water in the road in Katy, Texas, and also he is saying that the rain is coming down even harder there now.
Like, seriously, this is supposed to be a freaking freeway right here, but we can't even get through it. And this just happened in the Woodlands. Everything was just good the other day. This is a case they got. They probably think we need to be rescued, y'all. Come on, y'all. Stop playing. Yeah. Let me get closer to y'all so I can see this shit. Huh? You said the police gonna get us. Let me get this. Alright, that's it, y'all.
Let me show you really quick. I want you to just check out the radar and show you, as we were discussing yesterday might happen, Houston is just in the thick of the middle of the big band of intense storms. It's in the thick of it, where it's located relative to the storm. We were talking yesterday, I was saying, you know, if the storm moves southeast, is that thick band going to go right over Houston? It appears that that's what happened, because if we look at the radar right now, it is just in the middle of this constant band of heavy rainfall. There's Houston right there, right in the middle of that yellow and orange area. And that yellow and orange area really hasn't moved. It's just there. The storm keeps producing intense rain in that area, and that's where Houston's right in the middle of it. So at least for the time being, they are not getting a respite. It's a bad scene there. It's a bad, because we're seeing all of this bad footage, and also it's clearly just going to get worse, because, I mean, look at your screen. Look at that rain. And they're just in the middle of it. Yesterday, they lucked out for a few hours in the afternoon. There was kind of like a U around them, and they were like in the little clear area with all the rain around them. Today, they're right in the thick of it. So, you know, just not good, and it's going to get worse. It's gotten so much worse from today than yesterday. If it rains all day today, what does it look like tomorrow there? And it's supposed to rain tomorrow, too, so it's... All right, so let's go back. This is Right Side Broadcasting's live coverage of the Houston floods. If you want to see the President's News Conference, you can go to our other stream on Right Side Broadcasting on YouTube. You can open up that one as well. Go to Right Side Broadcasting on YouTube, and you can open up that page or open up the window and see that, as well as this. Also, please continue to send me news updates, videos, photos, things you hear, tweets about this, and I can share them with our audience. Send them to me at Lookner on Twitter, at LOOKNER. And let's see. Yeah, so I got a message here from Barbara Tyler. She says, Steve, we're watching you on Right Side. You're doing a fantastic job. True devotion. Thank you, Barbara. She says, would you please occasionally talk about the threat of disease, e.g. cholera, what it is, how to prevent it? I'll have to look at look up some research. I don't know offhand. Also, alert to many dangerous critters in the water. I've heard that if you walk through floodwater, there can be electrical cables that electrify the water. I've heard that there can be dangerous creatures in the water, like you said, and debris. So it's supposedly, I've seen things that say it's very, very dangerous to walk in floodwater. Now, maybe sometimes people have to escape, but there are a lot of dangers to doing it. She also says people are already being scammed. Info here. I've heard that there are hurricane donation scams, and I'll just say, in short, if you're going to donate to like a cause like for the hurricane or other natural disaster, just the experts' advice is to make sure about who you're donating to. Make sure it's a reputable organization like the Red Cross or something. Or even it doesn't have to be. Just know who it is you're donating to, because there are scammers who come out and scam people and say we're gonna help the people of disaster X, and then they just take the money. So be aware of that. That can happen when you're thinking about making your donations. Okay, let's go back out to the let's see here. The Houston, get some more live footage for you, and we're going to do that right now. And it might be in the area around Houston too. It's not all just Houston.
Big transformer just blew up. Yeah. Yeah. We might want to get away from these power lines.
Anybody else?
We're looking for that nursing home. They haven't got everybody? They don't want to leave?
Woo! That power line.
Let's go back over there. Let's follow them. We got power lines bursting all around us.
Joe Seals here at the Right Side Broadcasting Network studio in Auburn, Alabama. You're watching our continuous coverage of Hurricane, now Tropical Storm Harvey, dumping, in some cases, 30 to 40 inches of rain on the good folks of Texas down in Houston. Our thoughts and prayers go out with them, and we are looking live now at the White House, where President Trump is expected very shortly to hold a press conference with the president of Finland. We will bring that to you in its entirety right here on this stream as soon as the president comes up to the podium. We are joining in progress our own Steve Lookner, who is live in the other studio right now covering the floods in Houston. So keep it tuned right here. As soon as President Trump gets up to the podium, we will bring you his remarks in full.
Cars underwater.
My house is just. Is your family down that way, Chris? No, they're fine. Are y'all gonna flood, you think? No, I don't think so. Nice Cadillac. Sport car. I'll take it. What's your name?
Jose.
Jose, Mike.
Mike, pleasure. This is crazy. There's that nursing home out there.
Yeah. I don't know where the fuck you're going. I guess
That's up there. This is Champion Forest in Cypress Wood right now.
So they're in Cypress Wood riding around. There's so much water, and it's everywhere. It's not like it's in the street and not on the sidewalk. It's like everywhere. It's amazing. It's terrible. And it looked like it was certainly flooding the first floor of various places. I mean, look at this. This is just, it's like a water city. It's like something out of like a Star Wars movie or something. It's just a crazy scene. So much water. Oh.
They get the power on. It's called lift station.
All right, guys, my phone's getting wet, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop.
Well, where it comes to, it's down.
Wow, that's unbelievable. There's been a couple videos today. There was the truck one and this one where it's, again, they're going down these streets, and it's not like just the main street is water. You look off to the side and that's all water too. It's like the entire whole geographic area is full of water, full of feet of water. It's unreal. Think of that water. It's stunning to see that, and I don't recall yesterday seeing it to that degree. I mean, we saw a lot of, a whole road is full of water and a freeway is full of water, but this is people just all, you look at a 360 view and it's all water everywhere you look. It's unreal. It really is unreal. Wow. And it's only going to get worse, amazingly. That's the crazy thing.
Because if our house floods, if looking like it win, more like. I'm starting to shake, so I'm gonna X this off and expect another live video in about an hour. Carlet, who said they wouldn't take the dogs? They would take the dogs with us. However, they would not take the rabbit, and rabbits can't swim. Most rabbits, indoor rabbits, wild rabbits can. If we could get across that right there, I could let her go over in that water, but yeah, can't do that. Oh look, debris. I see a stick of some kind. Oh, on the plus side, I think we found a cooler, a few balls floating down that ended up in that pile right there last time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States and the President of the Republic of Finland.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It is my great honor to welcome President Niinistö to the White House. We've just concluded a very positive meeting, and I want to begin today by extending my thoughts and prayers for those affected by Hurricane Harvey and the catastrophe of flooding and all of the other difficulties that they're currently going through in Houston, in Southeast Texas, and now it's looking more and more like the state of Louisiana will be also affected. My administration is coordinating closely with state and local authorities in Texas and Louisiana to save lives, and we thank our first responders and all of those involved in their efforts. We're working directly with Texas Governor Greg Abbott, who, by the way, is doing a fantastic job, and his entire staff likewise, as well as with Governor John Bel Edwards, who's very much involved in starting the process of Louisiana. We've pledged our full support as Texas and Louisiana battle and recover from this very devastating and historic storm. There's probably never been anything like this. Under the supervision of FEMA Administrator Brock Long, there has been a tremendous amount of work done. He has been so outstanding in so many ways. More than 8,500 federal workers are involved in the Texas effort alone. I've also today declared emergencies in Louisiana at the request of Governor Edwards. Recovery will be a long and difficult road, and the federal government stands ready, willing and able to support that effort. Right now, the single most important thing is the safety and security of those still in harm's way, including the first responders who have been so terrific and brave. Protecting the lives of our people is my highest priority. Every asset at my command is at the disposal of local officials. Tragic times such as these bring out the best in America's character, strength, charity, and resilience. are those characters. We see neighbor helping neighbor, friend helping friend, and stranger helping stranger. And you see that all over. You watch on television, you just see such incredible work and love and teamwork. We are one American family. We hurt together, we struggle together, and believe me, we endure together. We are one family. To the people of Texas and Louisiana, we are 100% with you. We're praying for you. We're working closely with your leaders and officials. And I will be visiting the impact zone tomorrow to ensure that you're receiving full support and cooperation from the federal government. And on Saturday, we think we're going back to Texas, and also we will be going to Louisiana. Nothing can defeat the unbreakable spirit of people of Texas and Louisiana. Right now, every American heart sends its love and support to those whose lives have been upended, totally, by this very horrible storm. We ask God for his wisdom and strength. We will get through this. We will come out stronger. And believe me, we will be bigger, better, stronger than ever before. The rebuilding will begin, and in the end, it will be something very special. And I just want to thank everybody in the affected area, because it has been absolutely incredible to watch the spirit, the cooperation, and the love. I would also like to share a message to the people of Finland, who have recently suffered a terrorist attack in Turku. We stand in solidarity with you against the terrorist threat. We must all work together to deny terrorists safe havens, cut off their finances, and defeat their very wicked ideology. Mr. President, Americans are grateful for your steadfast support as an ally in the fight against terrorism. Appreciate it. Including your membership in the coalition to defeat ISIS. Finland makes important contributions to the coalition and its effort in Afghanistan, and has troops on the ground in Iraq training Iraqi soldiers. In Afghanistan, Finland provides troops and financial contributions to support the Afghan National Defense and Security Forces on a modern-day frontier between barbarism and civilization. That's what you have. It's barbarism versus civilization. We are particularly grateful to the Finnish citizens who have sacrificed for our mutual security. Finland is a leading expert in cybersecurity. In fact, we should be calling you pretty soon. You do a fantastic job with cybersecurity, and I congratulate you. And I think in a very short period of time, we're going to be right there with you, believe me. The United States is a very proud partner of Finland's European Center of Excellence to counter modern threats, including cyber attacks. In addition, we look forward to your leadership as chair of the Arctic Council. The Arctic region has strategic and economic importance for both of our nations, very much so. The foundation of our friendship is our shared love of freedom. On behalf of all Americans, I congratulate you and the Finnish people on the 100th anniversary of Finland's independence. 100 years. It's fantastic. In honor of Finland's centennial, the United States is contributing an additional $500,000 to the Fulbright Finland Foundation. Through the Fulbright program, we are sending more of our best and brightest to Finland, forging lasting connections between Americans and Finns. On the economic front, we seek fair and reciprocal trade to benefit both of our countries. I applaud Finnish companies for their commitment to increase investment in the United States, adding new technologies and adding good jobs for hardworking Americans. Thank you. The U.S.-Finnish partnership is rooted in our shared interests and common values. As President, and I must say, and I want to thank you, President, we've discussed and we look forward to further strengthening these bonds of culture, commerce, and cooperation between our two countries so that our citizens and our nations can thrive and prosper together. Mr. President, I'd like to thank you very much for being at the White House and had a great meeting in the Oval Office. It's my honor to have you here. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, I want to thank you for your very kind words. And I just want to tell you that it is a great pleasure and honor to be here today. I thank you also for the discussions we have had. They have been of most interest.
Thank you.
We have been closely following Hurricane Harvey. Our thoughts are with the people of Texas and Louisiana. They and you, Mr. President, have shown strength and courage to overcome this catastrophe. It has been touching to watch the TV and see how people help each other. That is what we basically are built of, helping each other. Finland highly appreciates our close relationship with the United States. Today, they are broader than ever, ranging from security to defense cooperation to trade and innovation. We are indeed celebrating our 100 years of independence. I want to thank you for the generous gift presented to the Fulbright Finland Foundation. I want to also take this opportunity to greet the almost 700,000 Americans who have a Finnish origin. Mr. President and I exchanged views on several international issues. Our broad headline was security. We discussed the importance of the transatlantic bond between the European Union and the United States. History has taught us Europeans the value of unity. The US and NATO presence in Europe and in Baltic Sea are most important, and they are increasing rapidly. Finland is doing its part. We promote dialogue. To reduce risks, Finland has proposed steps to improve flight safety in the Baltic Sea area. They are small but positive steps in reopening dialogue between NATO and Russia. We remain committed to supporting Afghanistan, and we are a dedicated member of the global coalition against ISIS. Finland took the chairmanship of the Arctic Council from the United States in May. We can't afford losing the pristine Arctic nature. Finland firmly believes that business and environment can both be winners in the Arctic. A good example is reducing black carbon. Mr. President, I'm looking forward to even closer cooperation with you and your great nation. I want to thank you. Thank you.
So we'll take a couple of questions. How about we go to Texas? Todd Gilman. Todd?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yes.
I'm wondering what you can tell the people of Texas to expect in terms of long-term recovery efforts. And in particular, you have been feuding with some key congressional leaders. You've also threatened a government shutdown potentially next month over border wall funding. Are these going to hamper long-term, the funding that will be needed long-term for recovery?
No, Todd. I think that you're going to see very rapid action from Congress, certainly from the President, and you're going to get your funding. It's a terrible tragedy. Your governor has been absolutely outstanding in the job he's done and his entire staff. And I will say that I just spoke with Greg, and he is working like 24/7. We expect to have requests on our desk fairly soon, and we think that Congress will feel very much the way I feel, in a very bipartisan way. That will be nice. But we think you're going to have what you need, and it's going to go fast. Texas is a unique place. It's a great, great state, great people, and I think you'll be up and running very, very quickly, really very quickly. So, yeah, I think you're going to be in fantastic shape. I've already spoken to Congress, and everybody feels for you and feels for what you're going through, but at the same time, they have great respect, even additional respect for the state, because you've handled it so well, so brilliantly. But it's a long road, still pouring, still a lot of rain. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. I've heard the words epic, I've heard historic. That's what it is. But you will have what you want, I think, very, very quickly. And Todd, you can ask a question to the President.
Sure, thank you. Does this situation make you reconsider the possibility of a government shutdown next
I think
month?
it has nothing to do with it, really. I think this is separate. This is going to go really very, very quickly. Again, I've spoken to many of the people we're talking about, and everybody feels the same way I do.
Thank you. And Mr. President, I wanted to ask you, your neighbor Russia has meddled in U.S. politics. They have a military exercise coming up in the next few weeks in the Baltic. There are tensions over there. What kind of advice have you offered and can you offer to the United States in dealing with this adversary?
Sir, we are not feeling ourselves as advisors, but we are feeling ourselves as doing all what is possible to maintain peace. And that is what we are doing in Baltic Sea area too. Actually, you referred to different kind of military training, which is going to happen there. I have to tell you that a couple of weeks ago I met President Putin, and there were media interested in why Chinese Navy is having a training together with Russians in Baltic Sea area. Putin answered that it is not a bloc, it's not against anybody. My answer was that we are also training in Baltic Sea with the United States and Sweden, and it is not a bloc, it's not against anybody. So we have to be very careful that this huge training, huge military trafficking over Baltic doesn't cause any accidental problems, because we know that from accidents might grow whatever. And that is why I think it's important that we continue to work with NATO to enhance, like I said, dialogue between Russia and NATO. And it is going forward.
You have a question?
Finnish broadcasting company, where you are, okay.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a question to President Trump, if I may. As President Niinistö told, he's been raising the issue about the security situation in the Baltic region and the Baltic Sea specifically, and has been concerned about the Russian planes flying there without transponders on. So my question to you, Mr. President, would be, Mr. Trump, would you consider Russia as a security threat? Thank you.
Well, I consider many countries as a security threat, unfortunately, when you look at what's going on in the world today. As you know, a few weeks ago, our great Vice President, Mike Pence, who's right here, was in the region and spent quite a bit of time there. We consider that a very, very important part of the world. We have great relationships there. We have a great relationship with Finland. And so I would consider many countries threats, but these are all threats that we'll be able to handle if we have to. Hopefully we won't have to handle them, but if we do, we will handle them.
Can I have a follow-up, as he had also? So if the situation in the Baltic were to escalate, what would the U.S. be ready to do in that unfortunate circumstances?
Well, we are very protective of that region. That's all I can say. We are very, very protective. We have great friends there, great relationships there. We are extremely protective. Okay. Thank you.
Sir.
A question for the President? Yes.
No. Sometimes.
Do you have a question for the President? Do you have a question for the President? It's all right. Yes. Somebody else can.
You don't have to.
Mr. President, Landamedia from Finland.
Okay.
did you speak about climate change at all? And what about your, Mr. President Niinistö, initiative about cleaning up the Arctic and doing it together with the United States? What kind of response did your idea receive here in Washington, D.C.?
We discussed a lot about black carbon. And to explain to everybody, what happens is that from atmosphere, black carbon covers the Arctic. And we know what happens when sunshine meets black. It melts the ice. And the problem is not only Arctic. If we lose the Arctic, we lose the globe. That is reality. So we must fight against those emissions spreading black carbon. I understood that the United States is going to put it in half. And we know that black carbon sources are, a lot of them in Russia. They are old-fashioned energy plants producing heating. The other problem is flaring. You know that in oil fields they flare up the extra gas, and the amount is huge. Yearly they flare 40 times more than Finland spends gas. So if we can, and here comes also a business to picture, it would be a good business to renew those old-fashioned plants, to make more with less energy. It would be a business to stop flaring, to take use of that gas which is now burned for wind. And I think that these elements are such that we can continue discussing in Arctic Council. We have inherited the chairmanship from United States, and we continue the work.
We had a very good discussion, in particular on the Arctic and black carbon, and I think we have much in agreement. One of the things we also agree on, we want crystal clean water, and we want clean air, the cleanest ever. Very important. So we have a lot of agreement. John Roberts, yes.
Mr. President, thank you so much. President Niinistö, I have a question for you as well, but if I could start with President Trump. In the middle of Hurricane Harvey hitting on Friday night, you chose to pardon former Sheriff Joe Arpaio. I wonder if you could tell us what was behind your thinking for issuing a pardon for the sheriff, and as well, what do you say to your critics, even some in your own party, who say it was the wrong thing to do?
Well, a lot of people think it was the right thing to do, John. And actually, in the middle of a hurricane, even though it was a Friday evening, I assumed the ratings would be far higher than they would be normally. You know, the hurricane was just starting. And I put it out that I had pardoned, as we say, Sheriff Joe. He's done a great job for the people of Arizona. He's very strong on borders, very strong on illegal immigration. He is loved in Arizona. I thought he was treated unbelievably unfairly when they came down with their big decision to go get him right before the election voting started, as you know, and he lost in a fairly close election. He would have won the election, but they just hammered him just before the election. I thought that was a very, very unfair thing to do. When I mentioned him the other night, you saw the massive crowd we had. The people went crazy when I said, what do you think of Sheriff Joe, or something to that effect. The place went absolutely crazy when I was in Arizona last week. And as far as pardons are concerned, I actually did this just before the meeting because I assumed that somebody would ask me the question. I didn't know it would be you, as you can attest. You didn't even know you were going to be called. But I thought I would. And, you know, Sheriff Joe is a great veteran of the military, great law enforcement person, somebody that's won many, many elections in the state of Arizona. But I wanted to look at some of the other people that were pardoned over the years. And if you look at, as an example, President Clinton pardoned Mark Rich, who was charged with crimes going back decades, including illegally buying oil from Iran while it held 53 American hostages, wasn't allowed to do that, selling to the enemies of the United States. He was pardoned after his wife donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to the Clintons. Then you have dangerous criminals. President Clinton pardoned Susan Rosenberg, a member of the weathered underground, charged as part of a bank robbery that led to a guard and 2 police officers being killed. Drug dealers. President Clinton commuted the sentence of Carlos Vignali, a central player in a cocaine ring that stretched from California to Minnesota. Criminal leaker. You've heard the word leaker. President Obama commuted the sentence of Chelsea Manning, who leaked countless sensitive and classified documents to WikiLeaks, perhaps and others. But horrible, horrible thing that he did, commuted the sentence, and perhaps pardoned. President Obama commuted the sentence of Oscar Lopez Rivera, who was charged as part of a violent independence group from Puerto Rico responsible for 28 Chicago area bombings and many deaths in the 1970s and 1980s. Sheriff Joe is a patriot. Sheriff Joe loves our country. Sheriff Joe protected our borders. And Sheriff Joe was very unfairly treated by the Obama administration, especially right before an election that he would have won. So, and he was elected many times. So I stand by my pardon of Sheriff Joe, and I think the people of Arizona who really know him best would agree with me. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, I'd like to claim prescience that you did all the research, but I'm afraid I have to confess the question was fairly obvious. And President Niinistö, I'm sure that President Trump either briefed you today or you're aware of his new plan for Afghanistan that really relies at its core in bringing the Taliban to the table for negotiations. Given the history and the ideology of the Taliban, do you ever believe that they would honor any kind of an agreement that was ever made, or would they, when the United States and Finland and other countries leave Afghanistan, renege on that deal?
Yes, first of all, I want to underline that Finland has been involved from the very beginning to all the attempts to solve the situation in Afghanistan. We have troops there, we have also financial aid going on all the time. We have to try in all possible ways to solve the situation in Afghanistan. It has been ongoing quite a long time, for decades. But to solve it by negotiations, surely you have to have full respect to the one you negotiate, and also full belief that what is negotiated is also fulfilled. These elements has to be all the time present when you discuss with whichever party in Afghanistan.
Okay.
Yep.
I know there might be a couple of more questions, but do you want to take one more? Would you want to take one more? Go ahead, pick.
Well,
Go ahead.
Please.
Again? You're going to give her the same one?
No, she's not the same lady.
Go ahead.
They are sitting side by side.
We have a lot of blonde women in Finland.
Go ahead.
Mr. President Trump, what kind of role do you see as Finland having in the U.S.-Russia relations? Do you think Finland could be of assistance, helping U.S. get better relations with Russia?
Well, I hope that we do have good relations with Russia. I say it loud and clear. I've been saying it for years. I think it's a good thing if we have great relationships, or at least good relationships with Russia. That's very important, and I believe someday that will happen. It's a big country. It's a nuclear country. It's a country that we should get along with, and I think we will eventually get along with Russia. Finland is respected by Russia. Finland has been free of Russia, really, just about one of the few countries in the region that has been for 100 years. And Russia has a lot of respect for Finland, so that's always good. But I think Finland is doing fine with Russia, and I hope that the United States will someday be able to have a very good relationship with Russia also. I think that's very good for world peace and for other things. Thank you.
As a follow-up, if Finland's relationship with Russia were to deteriorate, would the U.S., what kind of assistance would the U.S. be willing to give to Finland bilaterally if we needed it?
Well, as I said before, that our relationship with Finland is a very close one, and we're always ready to help Finland. One of the things that is happening is you're purchasing large amounts of our great F-18 aircraft from Boeing, and it's one of the great planes, one of the great fighter jets, and you're purchasing lots of other military equipment, and I think purchasing very wisely. I know all of the military equipment, and I actually agree with everything you purchased. We talked about it before. I think Finland's really a respected country militarily. It's got large armed forces for its size as a country, really proportionally probably one of the biggest in the world, if you think of it.
I guess so.
But they're very respected militarily, and they're respected beyond militarily. So hopefully it'll never come to that. Thank you.
And President Niinistö? President Niinistö, did you discuss Russia? And did you offer any assistance to the U.S. with their relationship with Russia?
Well, like I said earlier on, we did discuss about Russia, but actually I don't feel myself or Finland being any advisor to anybody. But we try to do our best, and hopefully we get also results from that. I want to remind you that in NATO meeting a year ago, approximately, it was stated by all NATO countries that with Russia you have to be deterrents, but you have to exercise dialogue too. These two-way elements have to be there.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. Trey Inks with One America News. In the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey, do you believe that cutting FEMA's budget is the right thing to do?
No, I think what's going to happen is the FEMA money is relatively small compared to the rebuilding money. So FEMA right now, we have the money necessary for Texas and Louisiana if we need, but the real number, which will be many billions of dollars, will go through Congress. I think it'll happen very quickly. It'll go very fast. And I want to congratulate you on the network. It's a great network.
Thank you. If I may follow up on one other question from earlier. The southern border wall. Is your plan still to have Mexico pay for the wall?
Yes, it will. One way or the other, Mexico is going to pay for the wall. That's right. It may be through reimbursement, but one way or the other, Mexico will pay for the wall. We're right now negotiating NAFTA. In my opinion, Mexico has been very difficult, as they should be. Why wouldn't they be? They had a sweetheart deal for so many years. It's one of the great deals of all time for them, one of the worst trade deals ever signed. I guarantee you, Mr. President, Finland would never have signed NAFTA with Russia or whoever you wanted to. This is not a deal that you would want to sign. This is not a deal that Finland would know about. NAFTA is one of the worst trade deals ever signed at any time, anywhere in the world. And I can understand why Mexico is being difficult, because why wouldn't they be? They've had it their way. But no, Mexico will pay for the wall. It may be through reimbursement. We need the wall very badly. As you know, Mexico has a tremendous crime problem, tremendous. One of the number 2 or 3 in the world. And that's another reason we need it. And just to add on, tremendous drugs are pouring into the United States at levels that nobody's ever seen before. This happened over the last 3 to 4 years in particular. The wall will stop much of the drugs from pouring into this country and poisoning our youth. So we need the wall. It's imperative. We may fund it through the United States, but ultimately Mexico will pay for the wall.
If I may follow up, on Tuesday you said if we have to close down our government, we are building that wall.
Well,
if
I hope
Mexico
that's
is
not
paying for the
necessary.
wall, why would
Let
we
me just
close
tell
down
you.
our government?
Yeah, I hope that's not necessary. If it's necessary, we'll have to see, but I hope it's not necessary. The wall is needed from the standpoint of security. The wall is needed from the standpoint of the drug scourge, what's coming through and through that area, through the areas that we're talking about. As you know, I have General Kelly here. We stopped traffic coming through 78%. It's going to be, I think, 81% this quarter, which is a record. In other administrations, if they stopped it just a little bit, like 1 or 2 or 3%, they considered that a great thing. We're up to almost 80%. We'll soon be over 80%. But you need the wall to do the rest, and you need the wall for the drugs. The drugs are a tremendous problem. The wall will greatly help with the drug problem, and ultimately that's a good thing for Mexico also. We have a very good relationship with Mexico, but I will say that dealing with them, I've always said, I've talked about NAFTA, you've heard me many times, and I've said that We will either terminate it or renegotiate it. We're in the process of renegotiating right now, renegotiating the deal. I believe that you will probably have to at least start the termination process before a fair deal can be arrived at, because it's been a one-sided deal. And this includes Canada, by the way. Great respect for Canada, great love for Canada. But it's been a one-sided deal for Canada and for Mexico. And the United States workers, all of these incredible people who have lost their jobs because of NAFTA, they're not going to be suffering any longer. It's been unfair for too long. So we will build the wall, and we will stop a lot of things, including the drugs are pouring in at levels like nobody's ever seen. We'll be able to stop them once the wall is up. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Joe Seals back here at the RSBN studio. Thank you for tuning in and choosing right side. President Trump wrapping up remarks with the President of Finland there. Want to invite all of you now to go to our YouTube channel or our website. We are broadcasting live all day long, continuing coverage of Tropical Storm Harvey and the floods that have just been so tragic and unbelievable. Steve Luckner has been live all day showing you some footage of the scenes in Houston. We also have some people that we're working with on Facebook Live, getting some of their feeds up for you to see as they rescue people. So if you would, check out our stream live now with Steve Luckner. Just click on the YouTube channel name and go over to that stream right now and check it out. He's been on all day, and we'll be on all through the night. So thanks everybody for tuning in. This concludes this stream. See you back here soon.